There is an issue which has been trending on the Ghanaian airways between a respectable man of God in the person of Charles Ajinasari and the people of Nogokpo from the Ewe, the Nigba. Ewe is a tribe in Ghana, one of many, and the people of the Ewe land, Nigba, and Nigba is land. So the people from the Ewe land live predominantly in the Volta region. Now, most people, or many people, have asked what my opinion on this whole trending issue is. And I have sat, I have watched, I have listened, I have prayed, and here are my views on all of these things. As a nation made up of so many different tribes and people, the truth of the matter is that those of us who have taken the trouble to understand and learn about our history would understand that each tribe in Ghana has a history, a past that shapes and informs the future. On top of that, there are also certain tribes, including the Ewe people, of which I'm a part, that have ancestry all the way back to Nigeria, because there's been a lot of movement from our ancestry and colonial times by our colonial masters who came into Africa and divided us up into different sections. And so people from the Ewe land have roots in Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and Ghana. A lot of people call people from the Volta region Aibe. But the truth is that Aibes are not Ewe or in the Volta region. Some of the people that moved into the Trans-Volta Togoland and ended up in Ghana, some of them also have roots with our brothers and sisters who are Gans. My mother, who gave birth to me, is Togolese, but she has roots in Accra, in Labadi, because the people that moved from Togo and ended up settling in the Greater Accra region were Aibes. There were part of them that were Aibes, and these people actually speak a language and a dialect that is a mix of so many things. It has a hint of French in it. It has a hint of Gan. There's so many Gan words in the Aibes, and the language that my mom speaks being Togolese. My father is from Ewe Deniba. He's an Anglon from the southern coast of the Volta region. And so looking at me, I am already an international woman because my mom has roots from Togo and my dad from Ewe Deniba. All of these people had migrated all the way as far back and can be traced from Nigeria to Benin to Togo and Ghana. That is already 4 countries in present day living. What does that say to you about the person that I am? It clearly demonstrates that I may call myself a person from the Ewe land, but already from the little that I've told you here so far, I am already a Nigerian, a Beninois, Togolese, and now also Ghanaian from the Volta region. The point I'm making here this morning is that we are all one people. Yes, our ancestry may come from different parts and have roots with other countries, but at the end of the day, if I have a cut right now and my veins are opened up, it is blood, the color red, that gushes out. Likewise, when whoever else is cut up as well, it is the same color of blood that oozes and gushes out of them. No one person is superior or more important than the other in the eyes of the universe, in the eyes of God. So why is this issue such a big one? And why must it be handled delicately in order to ensure that the undercurrents are not stoked in a country that is already polarized by all kinds of things? As an girl that was raised in a multinational home by a mother who was Togolese and a father who is Ghanaian, I learned, being an girl, that everybody is important and everybody deserves respect. I was born in England because people move around, and my parents at the time of having me lived in Cashalton in England. I moved, or I was transported back to Ghana and raised as a child. I lived in Accra for a time, and I lived in Kumasi in the Ashanti region for so many years, where I grew up and learned so many things side by side by other races and tribes in Ghana. Ashantis predominantly, because in the Ashanti region, it is the Ashanti people that live there the most. Having said that, there were others who also lived in Kumasi. There were Northerners from Dagomba, from Gonja, from Mamprusi, from all kinds of places, Tamale, that also lived in Kumasi. There were people from every tribe, Gans, all living in Kumasi. Growing up and getting the infusions from different homes and backgrounds, I picked up along the line the language of Ebe, the language of, and before I continue, by the time I moved back or was transported back to Ghana at the age of 6, I couldn't speak a word of Ebe. My parents spoke it, I heard it, but I thought it was a weird language. I couldn't, my tongue just didn't turn right to hearing or being able to speak a word of it. I went back to Ghana, and this is where I learned how to speak so many languages. As I said, my mom has her own language separate from my dad's, both of which I can speak. They seem to be similar, so there are things that my mom would say. Most of what my mom says, my dad can understand. And what my dad says, my mom can also understand the bulk of. But I also learned how to speak Asante Twi very well, because I had associations with people from the Ashanti land growing up and going to school. Fanti was also a language that I picked up because I had associations with people who were Fantis, and by living and being and spending so much time with them, I picked up a lot of the language along the way. Ga, very rusty, but there's still a good amount of it that I have a foggy idea at least about what is being said. I may not be able to speak much of it, but I can understand a lot of what is said. French, because it has rootings in the dialect that my mom speaks, and Togo being colonized by the French, my mom, and German, my mom speaks a lot of French, and because it's embedded in her language and dialect, I can understand and actually speak part of it when I'm speaking my mom's language to her family or the people that can speak that language as well. I'm saying all of this to say that at the end of the day, we are all one people. And because we are one people, comments that stoke or divide or demonize a particular group of people from the other, and not comments that should be encouraged, and not things that should be said, especially within or by a religious leader that is accorded the highest degree of respect in the society. Many people on social media are saying all manner of things. This is not the first time those kinds of comments are being made. Why are the Voltaireans making a big fuss out of nothing? But the truth is that these kinds of comments have been made and said to Voltaireans for a long time. And like everybody has their burning point. Everybody has a point at which they have enough of what people say in a negative, condescending manner to make that group of people feel disrespected. I have spoken to my people, a lot of my people, elders, people of my age and younger. And the common theme is that the people feel very disrespected for a very, very long time. I am a victim myself to some of these things and the effects of the comments. The issue isn't necessarily about the fact of the person who said it, but it's the effect and the magnitude and the impact of such comments on society. It's why people are aggrieved and want apologies and resolutions to these issues. I remember a time growing up, dating a man from a different tribe. And on the face of it, because I speak different languages, he didn't really know who I was in terms of what my background or ancestry was. And so for weeks and months, he thought of me from a particular tribe or race. As soon as he found out that I wasn't that tribe or race, he wouldn't have anything to do with me or did not want to pursue the relationship because the people in his home would never accept a Voltairean, a girl for that matter, in their homestead. Growing up on a university campuses where my dad taught for many years, decades, all my siblings were born and raised in the university campuses in the Ashanti region. And as somebody who grew up in this place, I saw a lot of things. There were a lot of people who were just like me, who also had parents growing up or working in that place, who were discriminated against because of either the language they spoke or the people that they were. I saw brothers who would not be accepted or allowed to marry Ashanti girls because there is this perception that people from Wanigba are evil, witches and wizards and demons. And a lot of these sentiments and comments and thinking is all shrouded and rooted in ignorance, because unfortunately, a lot of us don't want to learn about the way of life or culture or ancestry or history of other people. I have learned to love, accommodate, and accept people of all races regardless, because none of that matters. It's all about the person and the love that the person shows to you. But make no mistake, every place, every land has its own customs, has its own things that it is founded on, and must be given that utmost respect for what it is. I live in Canada. Canada is native Indian. The main tribes of the natives, the Métis, the Inuits, and the First Nations were the people that were here before the French, the English got here, fought so many wars, even with the United States, and eventually captured this city or this country, which is now being called Canada. Okay? Now, many decades have passed, and even till present, acknowledgement and credit, recognition, respect and reverence is given to the ancestry, the Native Indians, the Inuits, the First Nations, and the Métis to present day. And in every public setting, at every function, reverence is given to the ancestry of the lands that we live on, all the provinces in this country now called collectively Canada. But Canada is a no man's land. Apart from the Native Indians, there's nobody else who can claim to be an indigenous person from Canada, because all the ancestry are British, are French, are Swedish, from Russia, all kinds of places, United Nations of Canada. That is what it is. Very lovely place with all people, Chinese, Eastern Indians, all living side by side with Africans in peace, harmony, and unity, and all fostering in unity for the common good of the country. These are the same sentiments that I describe or would want to assign to the country Ghana, where people have lived at peace with people side by side for many years. However, there are certain tribes that have always sought to make comments and statements to the effect that they are more relevant and they are more important than others. Sadly, a lot of people don't even understand that today, in today's Ghana, we are all one people. You may acclaim yourself to be Ashanti, for example, but the truth of the matter is that if you just go down into your history books, go speak to your grandmothers and grandfathers that you don't have any regard for today, and learn about yourself, and you just might find that you have Moshi blood running through your veins without even knowing. Even though a lot of Ashantis don't accord utmost respect to Moshis and people from the north, the fact is that when you go back in time, there were a lot of people mixed bread between the Ashantis and the Moshis because they were high, they were tall, they were stout, and people that could fight because of the strength that they had. And it's not just Moshis. The Ashantis that live in the Volta region, they have intermarried, they have had descendants, children that contribute to the society and the economy. We are all one people. We should all learn to love each other and tolerate each other. The sad thing about this whole saga is that spirituality and religion is actually supposed to be what unifies us as a people. People should be allowed to express themselves and their religions however way they want to, without anybody feeling superior to the other. They are Christians, they are Muslims, they are traditionalists. And the truth of the matter is that all of us, prior to colonialism, were all our descendants were all traditionalists. If we really want to foster progress, if we really mean the word peace, peace means being in harmony with everybody, accommodating everybody, and showing love, dignity, and respect to all people, regardless. We all can't have the same viewpoint. We all can't have the same mindset. And most of us who call ourselves Christian, me, for example, are Christian because I was raised Catholic. My parents were brought up in Catholicism, and that is why I would also claim to be Christian, because that is all I know. That is what I was raised in. There are so many people that are raised in traditional homes. They are Hindus who also were raised Hindu, Muslim, raised Muslim. But at the core, all these people are human beings. If we learn to respect people's races and tribes, languages, backgrounds, culture, and religion, we would be one people that are united to be able to keep Africa relevant. If we're going to be able to do that, being unified is the way to do it. Of course, there will be people who will seek to divide us, because that is the only way that they can win. But if we really, honestly, truly mean business of keeping Africa as a continent that is distinguished on its own, that can be recognized and remembered for who it is with all the people, it is in unity. Divisiveness by tribal lines, by racial lines, by culture, and now by religion, it's definitely not the way that is going to happen, or the battles are going to be won. The battles of trying to win a person from a particular religion to the other is not going to be possible when one party is made to feel like they're demonic, they're satanic, they're unwanted, unloved, or incapable of being loved. The people from Denigbaji are upset, understandably so, because the statement that was made has, and for many years to come, will be interpreted to mean that the people who come from Nogokpo and Voltarians as a whole are all demonic, and the headquarters of the demonic is in Nogokpo. But a lot of us don't want to learn nothing about other people. But if you took the trouble to really understand what Nogokpo even is in the first place, you would understand that Nogokpo is a name of a town in the region called the Volta region. And Nogokpo is actually a word or a name that has gone through generations and has lost its meaning, because Nogokpo in itself, in the way that it is said, doesn't have a real meaning. But the traditions and the history of that name, Nogokpo, is the name. It's a question. No. You see, Nogokpo is spelled Nogokpo in today's English way of spelling the town, so that it is more amenable to easy pronunciation. But on the face of it, when you think about it in a language, it doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense when you go deeper to understand how this name came about and why it is of so much relevance and recognition. No, N-O, was actually in the language. No, N, with there are certain symbols and alphabets in different languages that cannot be written in the English brophalized way. And so no is actually no, and no is sit, live, sit, in the literal meaning. No, sit. G, even though it's now spelled G-O, it's actually G, and G means will you. So literally it's sit, will you? A question. Nogokpo is peacefully, quietly, in unison, harmony. So Nogokpo is actually a question. Nogokpo, will you sit quietly? Will you live quietly? Would you live in harmony, at peace with all the people in this town? Nogokpo, will you? Will you adhere to the culture, the traditions, and the rules that govern our living in this land? Will you be at peace with people? Would you respect our traditions of not taking anything from anybody, not stealing, not possessing or coveting things that don't belong to you? Will you be at peace with everybody? Nogokpo, will you? And it's a question, the name of the place. The reason why and how this name came about is that all the people from the Nigbaji, like tribes of different other parts of Ghana and other parts of Africa, hey, look, this issue is not just a Ghanaian issue. It is an African issue. If you go to any country prior to colonialism, we all had traditionalists. And each tribe had roots in traditions and deities and gods and all those things that gave the people the power to be able to fight in order to have relevance in today and become the present people that we have today. Now, Nogokpo, as it has come to be known, and Nogokpo, the people from the Nigbaji, the different people from Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and now Ghana in the Volta region. When all these movements were happening, the people sought protection and power from deities and gods that they had, that preserved them, that kept them. The town Nogokpo, today's Nogokpo, has a deity and a shrine, which is the god of thunder and lightning. And the people of Nogokpo believe that this god protected them right from their origins back to Nigeria, all the way now into the Volta region and the town that they came to settle, or the land that they came to settle on, called Nogokpo. This deity is a deity or a god of peace and of justice. Doesn't like anything that tarnishes, destroys, stealing, taking things that don't belong to you, killing people, hatred. Doesn't like that. And so the town derived the name Nogokpo to ask whoever wanted to settle there whether they were prepared to abide by the rules of their deity and live at peace and side by side by everybody else. If you can live at peace, not take things that don't belong to you, respect everybody and treat them as co-equals, not take people's wives, sleep with people's children, rape them, plant crops and take crops that don't belong to you, steal other people's animals, and all of those things, lies, you can live in that place at peace. And Nogokpo, it's a question. If you can live at peace, you can live there. If not, Nogokpo is not the place for you. Jog on and live somewhere else. Every town, every village, every place, every corner of Ghana that has a name has a history. Maybe on the back of this, you should go and figure out and learn about your own culture, your own town, and how it came to have the name that it has today. And understand that the fact that a particular group of people choose deities and gods as their power and protection does not make them horrid or horrible people. Demonic powers live everywhere. They're here in Canada, If you want to be spiritual, they're everywhere on the surface of this planet. And to me, there is no hub, there is no specific place that can be said is more demonized than anywhere else. Such comments don't foster the peace and unity that we seek. And yes, the people who don't understand why a big fuss is being made about it, a lot of them are not even Voltarians. They are not from Nogokpo. That for many years, its people have felt that they have been sidelined and not given equal opportunities because of ignorance and a certain way of thinking, without really understanding and going back in the roots of history to understand how these people have lived. I am an Ewe girl. My parents are Togolese and Ghanaian. My mom is Togolese. My dad is from Nogokpo. He's an Ewe man, and the man I call dad. I love the Lord. I love people. Just people. I just love people. I have Ashantis, I have Bonos, I have Fantis, I have Ewes, I have people from Nigeria, I have people that I love from Togo, Benin, every country in this world. And I love everybody. I love everybody who loves me back. And I don't discriminate one between the other. I just love people. That's it. And this is how it ought to be in a present day Ghana, like most other countries where we have all intermarried. Ashantis have married Northerners, Ewes have married Ashantis, Bonos have married Ewes, Gas have married Ewes, Gas have married Northerners. We all need to understand that we are all one people with the same blood, intermarried, running through our veins. And to say or do anything that does not demonstrate this is unfortunate. I love Ajina Sari very much. I have a lot of respect for him. I don't know why he said what he said, but the ramifications and interpretations, not just by him, but other people, more importantly, is why most people are aggrieved. Our spiritual leaders, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, atheist, whatever you decide to be, ought to ensure that there's their mouthpieces and the opportunities that they have because of the people that they are and the respect and dignity that is accorded them, use their platforms and their mouthpieces to foster peace and unity and tranquility, and not set to make comments that can be interpreted in a host of different ways that's set to diminish the relevance of a particular group of people. Ewes are also people just like everybody else is. Ashantis are people just like everybody else is. Gas, Dagombes, Gonjes, Mamprusi, wherever you come from, we are all one happy family. The earlier you accept that, the earlier you begin to see things in that light, the easier it is for all of us to have one common front. Many people have made comments about this is not what is important. We have more serious economic issues that should be tackled. Yes, true. But the people in Nogokpo, the people from Nogokpo, the Voltarians, the people also deserve to have ample opportunities, just like everybody at every other race does, to be able to seek employment and get it based on merit, and not to be treated as second class on the basis of ignorance and on the basis of comments that other people have made that have been taken as gospel and decisions are made based on. This is where the crux of the issue is. I love everybody, regardless. If you know me well enough, if you've taken the trouble to actually get close to me and know who I am as a person, and that is the basis on which everybody must be judged anyway, you would know that I don't care about where you come from, what your roots are. I don't care about anything other than love, because love conquers everything. People have said, oh, but Ajinasari has an Ewe wife, and they have children who have Ewe names. Whilst that is true, the people of Nogokpo itself feel aggrieved because there's so many people who don't understand what Nogokpo is and what it stands for. It has almost become the fact that the whole township of Nogokpo, the whole people that live there, are all judged on the basis of a deity and a god that lives or is in Nogokpo. But Nogokpo is more than a deity. It has people. It has a land with resources. It has people that are also trying to have economic and cultural relevance. There is so much that can be tapped out of all people, regardless. From Abanigbaji, the Volta, from the Ga land, the Ga Adangbe land, from the Ashanti Kingdom, from the Northern Kingdom. And all of these need to be given and accorded respect. I don't think that my brothers and sisters from the Ashanti region will be happy if any one person stood up and said, Kumasi is the demonic headquarters of the Ashanti region. I think everybody will be up in arms against that. People will kick it with everything. And people would also be called upon to go before the Asantehene and apologize and sit and have peace talks. There'll be all kinds of things that will be said. And so I don't really see why, when same is expected of another tribe, that they should be made to feel that it is not within their remits to also seek to foster peace and live side by side with all people in the land. What makes this even more tragic for me is that the assemblyman of the town of Nogokpo, is actually a member of Perez Chapel. This distinguished man actually goes to Perez Chapel and is a worshipper of the church that my papa, Charles Ajinasari, is a part of or the head of. It puts him in a very difficult place because on the one hand, he loves his pastor, but on the other hand, aggrieved that his people have been hurt in this manner based on what has been said. We are all one people. One people, different races and tribes, but one people nonetheless. Everybody brings something to the table. And I love and have the utmost respect for my brothers and sisters on social media that have used their platforms to foster peace and tranquility, regardless of race and tribe. All of them. Whether they're Christian or not, doesn't even matter. Just fostering peace. I have Muslim friends. I have Hindu friends. I have atheists who are my friends. And I love all of them equally. Why? Because at the core, they are all human beings. You can't force your religion or pitch one religion against the other, that this is the best one and every other one is not. That is not being at peace with everybody and respecting everybody from where they're coming from. We all have different minds. All minds cannot be the same. And if any tribe, race, or religion, culture wants to win more souls, as it were, into their fold, making negative comments and shedding a particular group of people in a bad light is not the way to do it. Today, it is Everland. Tomorrow, it may be another. We are all one people. Evers should respect Ashantis, Gonjas, Gans, and everybody. Likewise, every other race and tribe should also respect the people from Everland if truly we want to foster peace and move forward as a people. My name is Shika Antonio. Amau Shika Antonio. Aku Shika Antonio. I have so many names. Amau Shika means human beings are more precious than gold. The name Shika in my dialect, in my tribe, the name that my dad gave me at my birth, Shika means gold. And so I am more priceless and precious than gold to the parents that gave birth to me and to the family that I am a part of. My name is Aku because I was born on a Wednesday, and all girls from Awenigbaji who were born on a Wednesday are called Aku. My name is Dede because I'm the first daughter of 4 to my parents. Antonio is my father's name, a name that is rooted back to the coast of Ghana, away Degbi, not far from Kata and Angoga. That is where my ancestry is part of. My mom has roots in Togo. My mom is a Lasse. These 2 people gave birth to me. They are Lasses and Antonio blood running through my veins that are all rooted all the way back to Nigeria. So I am Nigerian. I am Beninois. I'm Togolese. And yes, I'm Ghanaian too. My family has people from every race and tribe you can think of. United Nations family is what I'm a part of. They are Hindus married to people in my family. They are Muslim married to people in my family. They are German, French, Lebanese, Iranian, married to people in my family. They are Jamaicans in my family. We are a United Nations family. I have been married in a family or a tribe that is not my own. I have people that I'm related to that are married to Fantis, Evers, Gans, Northerners, people from Bono rooted in my family. We are a United Nations family, and we love each other so much, and it has nothing to do with what race, tribe, or religion people belong to. We love each other equally. You know why? Because everybody in their uniqueness, whether Iranian, Jamaican, French, German, Lebanese, Ashanti, Ebe, Gan, Fanti, Gonja, Mampusi, Sisala. All of these people bring something to the table, and we celebrate their uniqueness and individuality as one people, and enjoy the Jamaican ackee sauce, rice and peas, and jerk chicken just as much as we enjoy akpla, made from corn and cassava dough with okra soup, which may be slimy but very delicious if you know how to eat it. We eat wache, we eat gan kenke, we eat plantain, we eat all kinds of things, delicacies from everywhere. We have creme brulee. Yeah, because we have French rootings in my family. Hey, we eat fish and chips because we have British rootings in my family. We are all one people. The earlier we begin to understand that, the better it is for all of us. We are all one people at the end of the day. Let's not demonize any group of people. Actually take the trouble to understand people and where they've come from. Go back into history. Maybe it's time that you took a trip and learned about your own history. And you would realize that this whole time you've been biting your nose to spite your own face because you're ignorant of a lot of things that are rooted in your rich culture, which you should be very proud of, regardless of who you claim to be, Christian, Hindu, atheist, whatever. We can all love each other, respect each other, understand each other, tolerate each other, and live side by side in peace, unity, and harmony. My name is Sika. I love you so much. I hope everything that I've said makes perfect sense. I love you all so much. I will continue to love you so much, and that love will never diminish on the basis of anything other than the fact that we are all human beings and we all deserve to love and respect each other at all times. I love you so much. Bye-bye.